times have you bought something blindly, watched it, and then thought, why'd I buy that? That's what I want to talk about today here in this latest episode of AJ Chats. Let's get into it. Okay, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Yes, new episode of AJ Chats, where I just sit down and I talk about something on my mind. And today, like I said, it's going to be blind buying. But before I do that, this name, AJ Chats, for this series that I do, I try and do every other Saturday. Is it the right name? But does it sound like I'm going live when I don't go live on these, unless it was an AJ Chats live? And then also, I do a live with Matt that's called Matt and AJ Chats, or AJ and Matt Chats. So should I be changing the name of this series? I don't know. Let me know down below. And if you've got any ideas for a good name for this, then I'm all up and ready to listen. So let me know if I should give it a name change, and if you have any ideas as to what that name should be. So blind buying. I want to talk about this because I do see a lot of people blind buy stuff. They might blind buy special editions because of the fear of missing out comes into play and this sort of a thing. And I've bought blindly in the past, and a few times I've got burnt by it, by watching the film and thinking, why did I buy that? Why have I listened to other people's opinion? And it's made me go out and buy a film, and I've really not enjoyed it. Two films that come to mind in my mind at the minute: Pizza. What was that pizza film? Pizza Express is a pizza. Licorice Pizza, that's it. And I think The Babadook was another one that came out as a special edition, and fear of missing out came into play as well. Came with a lovely book, it did. But the film, I hated the film. And I had to sell it on. Now, we're at a point in time now in life where there is a crisis, an energy crisis, food crisis, cost of living crisis, where the prices on everything has risen. And even me now, I've had to look at how I buy. And you probably wouldn't believe it, but I'm leaving stuff behind and picking them up later on in sale and things like this. New releases, some new releases, like things like the Fall I haven't got yet, Beast I haven't got yet. Films I'm waiting that will drop or I'll pick up in CEX. Now, I've done a video before about whether this is a hindrance towards physical media purchasing because less money is going back into the business, and it's not good in that sense. So blind buying is one of the first things that I knocked. I don't blind buy anymore. Now, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't blind buy. I can't really say I don't blind. I do blind buy, of course I do. But when I blind buy, it's on older releases that I'm picking up in CEX or in a charity shop, or maybe really cheap in a sale. And when I'm saying in CEX, rarely do I go above about £3-4 with blind buying, and I justify it by the fact that back in the day when I used to rent VHS tapes, you'd go into a rental store, you would rent a film you haven't seen, and you would pay £3-4 to rent that movie for a few days, for a week, however long it used to be. So me going into a CEX and purchasing a film to keep that I haven't seen for £3-4, in my mind, is the equivalent of me and what I used to do back in the day, renting. The cost is the same, and I'm seeing a film that I haven't seen. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't go back. It does whatever I do with it after that. But the cost is irrelevant because it's doing that sort of a thing. Big release, blind buying. Now, everything that I buy now, 95% of the stuff that I buy, I've seen. Now, if I'm blind buying something, okay, recent blind buys that I've made is the latest season of The Flash, yes. The latest season of Better Call Saul. But are they blind buys? Yes, they're blind buys in the sense that I haven't seen them. But where I've seen every other season of The Flash that's come before, or every other season of Better Call Saul that's come before, I'm going into something where I know what I'm getting. I know that it's a property that I've followed, that I've enjoyed, and now I've picked up the final season because I didn't watch it when they were aired. I'll just watch them on disc. So for me, that's a kind of an aside to blind buying. But what I'm talking about is a brand new film, a film that's come out, and I go to the shop, I see it there on the shelf, and shall I pick it up or shan't I? Case in point, a recent one I was almost close to picking up because I was intrigued was I forget the title of the film, starring Idris Elba, Tilda Swinton. It's the Genie film, directed by George Miller, who directed Mad Max. I saw that, I thought, well, this looks really good, this looks intriguing, read the back of the box. I didn't pick it up. And I know some people have said it's a really good film, but I watched the trailer and it was a bit far out there with me. So I didn't pick it up. So, because blind buying now, I don't do. There is a release coming out. Well, like I said, I'm saying I don't do. Of course I do, but very occasionally. There's an anime series coming out in January called Witchblade. And it's quite an expensive blind buy, because it's probably about £40 for the complete series of this anime called Witchblade. Now, the reason I'm buying that blindly, because I haven't seen it, hence that's what blind buying is the fact that Witchblade as a property, I know. Witchblade is a comic book that came from Top Cow Comics by an artist called Michael Turner, who went on to then do a comic called Fathom. Fantastic artist, and it was a really good comic book. And not only that, it spun a TV series starring Yancey Butler. I've seen that TV series. I've got that TV series, so I'm very much intrigued by the concept of this anime series that was made some time ago. But it's something I've never seen because it's related to a property that I know and enjoyed. So there is that. Obviously, the concern is still the same, that I've bought something that once I watch, I'll think, oh, I don't really like this. But what I'm doing, and this is where I can sort of, I've got a buffer, shall we say, is ordering from Amazon. Because ultimately, if I order something from Amazon and I'm not happy with it, it will be returned to Amazon and I'll get a full refund on it. That much is certain. Yeah, it doesn't matter what reasoning I give to Amazon for the return. I could say that it's faulty, I could say that it was unwanted, I could say whatever I want to say, and I'll get a refund regardless. So I'm quite safe in that sense. So with blind buying, I've cut blind buys out for the most part because of being burnt by stuff in the past, because of the cost of living crisis, and because it makes no sense, really. I have to see a film first. Every film that I buy now, brand new, is a film that I will have seen. It won't be blindly bought, that's for certain. I make sure that I watch a title first. It's a title that I enjoy. It's a title that I think, yes, I'd like to have that in the collection. And yeah, I just don't get, like I said, fear of missing out comes in when you get a new release come out, a big release. I'm talking about, you might get a film that's released in a lovely box, art cards, book, all that sort of rubbish that comes with it, film you haven't seen, and you're enticed by it because of the presentation, because of the package, because of the stuff that comes in it. And yes, I've felt for that before in the past, hence the Badabook. But now, again, with those, I'll make sure that I've seen the film. If there's a film I've not seen, I tend to not go for it, or I'll make sure that I watch it before the release of that physical release, that special edition, and that it's a film that I'm going into that I enjoy. With this crisis going on, cost of living crisis, we can't make these mistakes at the moment, I don't believe anyway. But yeah, so let me know what your thoughts on blind buying are down below. Is it something that you still do, not do? How do you go about it? Like I said, the buffer for me, and what I would advise to anyone, is order it from Amazon, because the returns process is so damn easy. If you're blind buying, order from them, watch it. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, send it back. Why not? What harm can be done? And also, like I said, CEX blind buying for a couple of quid, the equivalent of renting for me, like back in the day when I used to rent. So the cost is negligible because it's just still, it's justified mentally that way. Just something I wanted to talk about. I don't see the point in blind buying anymore. Yeah, just let me know how you feel about it and what your thoughts on it are. And let me know if you can think of another title for this video series where I sit down and talk. This is AJ. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Yeah, unless that's New Year's Day. Or is that New Year's? I don't know. I don't know what the date is. No, it's past that. I don't know. I'm confused. But there we go. It confuses me. I don't know where I'm at in the month. This is AJ. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and